Have you ever wondered why setting boundaries as a mother can feel like walking a tightrope? The challenge of motherhood is not just about raising children, it's about maintaining your own identity, your own needs and desires in the midst of societal expectations and family obligations. It's a delicate dance, a constant balancing act. The world may tell you that a good mother sacrifices everything for her children, yet this notion can leave mothers feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and lost. Setting boundaries is crucial for mental and emotional health. It's about acknowledging that you too are a person with needs, and that's perfectly okay. It's about giving yourself permission to prioritize your own well-being without feeling guilty. The struggle of balancing personal needs and societal expectations is real, but remember, it's your life, your rules. The journey of learning to set boundaries as a mother is a challenging yet rewarding one. We would love to hear your experiences of setting boundaries. Please share your thoughts in the comments section of Mum Wisdom Hub. Imagine a mother, let's call her Mary, trying to juggle her personal life, her work, and her family. Mary is like many mothers out there, constantly racing against the clock, trying to be everything to everyone. She loves her family dearly, but she often feels overwhelmed by the demands of her hectic life. Her calendar is filled to the brim, leaving little room for self-care or personal pursuits. She's often heard the term setting boundaries, but she's brushed it off, thinking it's not for her. But deep down, she knows she can't continue like this. She's spread too thin, and it's affecting her health, her happiness, and her relationships. The guilt she feels is a constant companion. If she doesn't attend every school event, she feels like she's failing her children. If she's not available for her partner as much as she'd like, she feels like she's failing them. If she doesn't put in extra hours at work, she feels like she's failing her career. This guilt, this pressure to be perfect, is exhausting. It's a heavy burden that she carries, and it's becoming too much. One day, after a particularly stressful week, Mary realizes she can't keep going on like this. She's tired, she's overwhelmed, and she's unhappy. She wants to be there for her loved ones, but she also wants to take care of herself. She realizes that she needs to make a change. She decides that it's time for her to start setting boundaries. She understands that it won't be easy. She knows that she'll have to have difficult conversations, that she might upset some people, that she might be misunderstood, but she also knows that it's necessary. She needs to set boundaries to protect her time, her energy, and her well-being. Mary knew she needed to set boundaries, but she didn't quite know how, but she was determined to figure it out. For her sake and for the sake of her family, she was ready to embark on this journey, ready to learn, ready to grow. She was ready to start prioritizing herself, ready to start saying no when necessary, ready to start setting boundaries. Mary began to learn and implement strategies for setting boundaries. This was not a simple task, nor was it an overnight change. It involved a lot of introspection, practice, and a determination to prioritize her own mental and emotional health. One of the first strategies Mary adopted was clear communication. She realized that she could not expect others to understand her boundaries if she did not clearly articulate them. This meant being open about her needs, her limits, and what she considered acceptable behavior. For instance, if she felt overwhelmed by house chores and needed help, she would express it directly. Instead of hoping others would notice her struggle, she took the initiative to voice her needs. Consistency was another critical element in setting boundaries. Mary understood that if she allowed exceptions to her boundaries, it would send mixed messages and weaken her stance. If she had set a rule that her private time was between 8 and 9 in the evening, she would stick to it, not allowing interruptions unless absolutely necessary. This consistency sent a clear message to her family that her boundaries were to be respected. Prioritizing her needs was perhaps the most challenging strategy for Mary. As a mother, she was accustomed to putting others before herself. However, she realized that this was not sustainable and that she needed to take care of herself to be able to take care of others. This meant saying no when she was too tired or overwhelmed. Even if it disappointed others, it meant taking time for herself to relax, to pursue her interests, to just be. As Mary implemented these strategies, she noticed a shift in her relationships and responsibilities. There was resistance at first, misunderstandings and hurt feelings, but as she stood her ground, communicated her needs and maintained her boundaries, she saw a change. Her family began to respect her boundaries, and she felt a sense of control and peace she hadn't experienced before. Mary's journey wasn't easy, but she began to see the positive effects of setting boundaries. It was a process of self-discovery, self-assertion, and ultimately self-care. And it was a journey well worth taking. After setting boundaries, Mary's life began to change. The transformation wasn't immediate, nor was it easy, but gradually Mary started to notice the benefits. She found herself less stressed, less overwhelmed. Her mental health improved as she started to prioritize her own needs alongside those of her family. Her relationships improved too. By setting clear boundaries, she communicated her expectations more effectively, fostering understanding and respect. Her loved ones began to appreciate her needs, and they adjusted their expectations accordingly. This led to less conflict and more harmony in her relationships, both within her family and beyond. But perhaps the most significant change was in Mary herself. She became more confident, more assertive. She learned to value her own needs and not to feel guilty about putting herself first sometimes. This newfound self-confidence radiated from her, positively affecting all aspects of her life. Mary's journey showed that setting boundaries as a mother is not only possible, but essential. What can we learn from Mary's journey? We've discovered the unique challenges of motherhood and recognized the importance of setting boundaries. We've learned to assert ourselves, to navigate difficult conversations, and to deal with crossed boundaries and misunderstandings. We've seen how transformation is possible with the right strategies. So let's take these lessons and apply them in our own lives. Remember, setting boundaries as a mother isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for your well-being and the well-being of your family.